because there is so many kind of live people in the one room. We are so used at Microsoft to work in a team, so this is like, okay, I will take a moment to look at this audience. Amazing. And hey, I need to say big thanks to the organization. So it's very good that you kind of pull together the women in tech. That's important. And I admire how you kind of nurture the values of diversity and inclusion. And I will touch base this topic heavily in my presentation. I will today walk you through a little bit a journey. We start from today. We do a time travel back to 60s. And then I will share with you the biggest challenge I currently have in our businesses. But that will be the storyline for the next 20 minutes. Hey, but first, setting up the scene. I think this is important. The world is extremely uncertain. So many big uncertain things happening year after year, crisis after crisis. We have COVID, we have the war broke in Ukraine, there are a lot of cyber threats, there are a lot of supply chain issues coming from the COVID times, inflation rates, or inflation, interest rates rising, energy prices rising. So it's difficult actually to plan for the future, I need to say. There is a huge amount of uncertainty, but at the same time, I'm very hopeful. I share for you why. First of all, this was the sentence our CEO, Satya Nadella, said in the last summer. He said that technology input is required in order to grow the economic output. And basically it is saying that during these uncertain times, technology is needed to solve all these world's largest problems. We can defend from the cyber threats. We can improve and bring visibility to the supply chains. We can bring scalability to the businesses. We can, through the automation, utilization of AI, bring cost efficiencies to the businesses. We can improve the employee experience, the customer experience. We can accelerate the innovation toward more sustainable world. I can continue on and on, but nevertheless, now I will stop. But just to give you the hope that I'm feeling and sensing for the future, technology industry is an amazing place to be at the moment. During uncertain times, we are a very relevant partner for all of the companies. So I think people in this room, people online, we all should be kind of feeling privileged that we are able to work in this industry. That is kind of setting the scene. Then I will start my time traveling. Women in tech. I'm not sure, do you know this movie, Hidden Figures from 60s? Yes. Okay, very good. Because I find this inspiring. So it's a ladies working for NASA. They were supporting the NASA to travel or do the space or compete on a space race in the 60s. They were also the people who were able to get the first NASA computer to work. It's 3 ladies, or more of the ladies, African Americans working at 60s in NASA. During their times, they kind of had a lot of headwinds, a lot of obstacles, hurdles on their way, but they were determined. They knew what they were doing, and they removed all the obstacles. The key 3 obstacles were considered. They were women, they were pursuing their career, and they were African American. Okay, well, it sounds like not right things and right obstacles, but nevertheless, at the 60s, this was the case. In the end, during that movie, please watch it, but they removed all the obstacles. They were successful on the space race, and they got recognized by their scientific activities, but also that they were really nurturing the diversity and inclusion, the gender and the race equality, already at the 60s. But I think this reality was even more fascinating. This is one of the ladies, Katherine Johnson, who was portrayed in the movie. And actually, this is what she said. I didn't feel the segregation at NASA because everybody there was doing research. You had a mission, you worked on it, it was important to do your job and play bridge at the lunch. I didn't feel any segregation. I knew it was there, but I didn't feel it. So basically, This is just telling the story that when you have a job that needs to be done, that is bigger than we are, it actually doesn't matter that who you are, what is your background. The essence is what you can bring on the table when you join the table. The essence is what you can do, not what is your gender or not what is your background. And this lady already at 60s is telling the same story. I need to admire NASA because already at that time they have been driving the diversity and inclusion agenda heavily. They have been successful on their space activities. And this diversity and inclusion has been core part of their culture. They are saying that they cannot afford segregate. They cannot afford put down a talent, overlook a talent because of the gender or the race. They need the best people on the planet to do the job. Otherwise, they're out of the business. And this is I think this is coming more and more into our businesses too. But this is absolutely the mentality. And if you look at NASA's, there is the control rooms that you can see today in the many pictures. You can still see that it's a very diverse workforce that the NASA is having. Similar kind of behaviors happening also today. I travel next from the US to Finland. But let's stay in the 60s first. Because that was also the time, not only NASA putting up their first computer, but also in Finland. In '58, we got our first mainframe computers in Finland. Postipankki and Kela were among the two of the first ones. And there are really hidden figures also in Finland in this era. When I'm looking at the pictures, we were trying to find the pictures at the time, it's always the computer, and then there are men with the suits standing next to it. But guess what? Guess what who was operating the mainframe computers? Women. Guess what who were programming in 60s the computers? Women. Beautiful. This is important. There are hidden figures. This is a free hint for someone to do a movie on a Finnish hidden figures. But there has been women in tech and very advanced tech already in the 60s, also in Finland. And the beautiful thing in Finland was that, okay, these guys, were able to go to the library, borrow a book, textbook for coding, and they didn't need to steal it, the book, like they need to do that in that movie. Or in Finland, these ladies, they had the access to free education, but in the movie, they were kind of fighting in a court for their basic right for education. So life in Finland actually has been over for a century already in a very equal place. We have had over a century the civil rights, the political rights for the women. And I need to say that quite often I hear people saying that, hey, we should have more people women in the leadership position. I'm thinking like, yes. And people say this with a good intent. Good intent. But I think the reason put people and the women in the leadership position, it's all quite often reason that they would drive the diversity and inclusion. But actually, I think we should think about this in a completely different manner. We need a more inclusive world to get more talented women and diversity in the leadership position. We need to turn this whole thing around. I think this is one of the core messages. In Finland, I feel it that we are quite equal, everybody. We have a free education system that is enabling all of us to reach for our dreams. I'm from the eastern side of Finland. I'm coming from Etelä-Savo, one of the poorest regions in Finland, from the village. I call it village because there are less than 1,000 people, called Jäppilä. My mother is a nurse, my father was a factory worker. And there, you can just start to build your dreams, your careers. Everything is more or less free in Finland. You do your elementary school, you go to the gymnasium, you go to the university, and basically it's more or less free of charge. So this is the kind of a beautiful country to be in. But then I need to say that I run into a research. OECD, they published some weeks back research that actually saying that I might be part of the generation that would be the highest educated in Finland. And people who are now 25 to 34, actually only 40% of the people are getting university degree nowadays. And it just keeps on coming downwards. My generation, 50, now we are between 25 to 34 years old, we are at 40. And then, you know, the direction is downwards. And this brings to me to this Ernest Hemingway's novel, where one of the characters is saying that, how did you go bankrupt? The other one is saying that, yes, 2 ways. First, gradually, and then suddenly. And this is my biggest worry that we need to work on. We need to ensure together that we have enough talented people in this country to solve all these issues that we are having at the table. And putting this into context of technology industry. Technology industry, teknologiateollisuus, they made a few years back a study that they will need 130,000 new people to the industry within the next 10 years. 13,000 per year. And this is based on 2 facts. First of all, half of the people, why they need 13,000, half of the people is because the demand is growing. There are a lot of new positions coming to the technology industry. That's the other half. The other half is that people are retiring. So Finland is among one of the most aging countries, actually 4th aging country in the world, after Japan, Italy, and Portugal. So, and this aging of the people keeps on accelerating. Already today, 23% of the population is over 65, and that just keeps on accelerating. So we do have an issue here. And I told you that in the only technology industry, 13,000 empty positions every year. And from our education path, from universities, we get 5,000 graduates per year. We need 13,000, we have 5,000. This is already happening today. So there is a huge demand. So none of you don't need to worry about your jobs. There is so much work to be done that you can ever imagine. But the challenge is that we need more people. We have also, at Microsoft, we are committed to skill people. We are not a university. We don't do 4 years, 5 years degrees. But we are committed to skill into this country 100,000 people within the next 5 years. For us, skilling means that we provide the basics or more deeper knowledge of certain areas of technologies, like cloud, like security, data and AI. You take few months, 6 months courses, you certify yourself, and we consider that after that you are employable. And this is our commitment. Last year we skilled 11,000. We need to skill 20,000 onwards from now on in order to hit the commit that we have put on the table. And we do the skilling in twofolded. So basically, first of all, we look at the people already in the industry. It's important to nurture their skills. We know that the technologies are moving from traditional infrastructure to the cloud, to the data and AI, to the cyber. So we need to reskill a lot of people. Half of our 20,000 per year, so 10,000 comes from the reskilling. The other 10,000 per year is coming from net new talent to the industry. So we are doing the utmost everywhere, every day, also here today, to attract more talent to the industry and also, of course, to the Microsoft. We work closely with all the universities, but it's not enough, as you could hear. So the amount of graduates is not enough. So basically, we are also trying different kind of new ways to attract talent. We also work with the companies like Shortcut, who are bringing the immigrants to the countries and educating them. Last summer, we did our first trial with the Ukrainian immigrants, teaching them the cybersecurity skills. We are also working with the consulting companies like Saranen Consulting to ensure that people who want to move, for example, from the healthcare to the technology, we are enabling and building the path how they can actually do it. But nevertheless, we need more people that's Simple as that. I would say that technology is a great equalizer. And this is also supporting us to untap the potential for the diverse and inclusive workforce. And I'm saying that with the help of technology, we are, as a Microsoft, tapping new talent pools 3 ways. First of course, hybrid work is here to stay. So not anymore we need to look at the talents only in the capital area. We can look at Kotka, Lappeenranta, Pori, Rovaniemi, you name it. The location doesn't matter anymore. And this is giving us amazing new opportunity to get more talented people into the company. The second thing is that with the technology, we are bringing these, how can I say, we are trying to make, with the support of technology, it more accessible also people with the disabilities. So talented people with disabilities, maybe a low vision, we are providing the tools, the accessories for them to work and be part of our society and the work environment. This is another talent pool that we can tap with the accessibility features that we are having in our technology. Third one, we are trying to also attract people from abroad, but I'm saying this is a huge challenge because not only Finland is suffering of a skilled workforce. This is issue for everybody. I look at different industries. I look healthcare. In Europe, there are 3 million nurse positions open in Europe only. So Finland has issues, but Europe has major issues. If you look at software developers, we have calculated that at the moment we have in Europe 1.6 million software developers. Within next 3 years, we need 5 million. So 3.5 million more. Where do we get them? And I can go on and on with different industries, but this is a true issue. So not only Finland, but this is a European. Europe is aging and it's causing us some issues. And that's why it's very important that we keep on attracting diverse talent. We cannot overlook, we should not overlook anyone. We need all the hands on the deck to solve with the technology some of the biggest issues that we have on the planet. Our mission at Microsoft is empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And I will summarize this. So with the help of technology, you could hear, we have less people, not only in Finland, but also in Europe. We have more global size issues. And technology is one of the key elements in order to solve these. Do more with less. And I'm sure when I'm looking at this group of people, there is a job to be done. We need to build a sustainable digital future, not for ourselves, but also the generations to come. And I see here the NASA ladies in the room, and gentlemen also important in a diverse and inclusive manner, that I see we are capable to do the job, but we need to do it together. No one alone can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mervi. So inspiring keynote.
I hope I was bringing light and not like frightening you that there are not enough people doing the job.
Loved how you brought the facts. And I must say, as a also person from Savo, I come from Varkaus, so
okay.
So it doesn't matter where you come from, really.
No.
That's what you said as well.
Exactly. And I think it's important to put down the facts so that we can understand the magnitude of issues and we can understand where we can actually drive the impact. Because otherwise, I can like look everywhere and then I'm puzzled, like, okay, we could do this and that and this and that. Then we need to choose. The most difficult thing is to choose where you have your battles, pick your battles, prioritize your things. You cannot fix it all, but you need to be clear on that one. That's why I need the numbers to just understand where are the priorities and where we can have an impact.
Exactly. One of my questions would have been like, what would be your #1 tip for this audience today? But you're talking about focus already.
I'm talking about focus. Oh, I could have. I think I think the beautiful thing, you know, you come from Varkaus, I come from Jäppilä. There is not that much there in our side, but I think the beautiful thing is that I advise, or at least it has worked for me, that dream big, dream big, and then start to look at one by one how you can actually every day do something towards that big dream that you are having. And actually one day you just notice that you have achieved it, and then you start to dream even bigger. So I think that's important. Dream big.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mervi.